I'm just going to be straight with you right out of the gate. Some turbo engines? Totally fine. You can drive them for years. No problems. But some of these engines out here will literally destroy themselves before you even hit 100,000 kilometers and then hand you a repair bill you're not going to be happy about. And here's the thing that gets me every single time. They look identical on the window sticker. Same horsepower, same fuel economy numbers. You'd never know the difference just looking at it. And honestly, the salesperson at the dealership can't tell you either because nobody trained them to know. But Consumer Reports knows, and NHTSA knows. And after you watch this video, you're gonna know too. If you're someone who cares about protecting your vehicle with real facts instead of marketing hype, hit that subscribe button right now. I went through Consumer Reports 2026 reliability data, dug into the NHTSA recall database, looked at class action lawsuits, read through thousands of real owner complaints, and the pattern is it's right there. You can't ignore it. Consumer Reports found that turbocharged engines are 67% more likely to have problems than naturally aspirated engines. 67%. 18 car models just lost their Consumer Reports recommendation, and most of it comes back to turbo reliability issues. And since 2015, over 4.3 million engines have been recalled in this country, a big chunk of those tied directly to turbo failures. That's not my opinion. Those are the actual numbers. So here's what we're covering today. 5 specific turbo engines you need to stay away from in 2026, with the exact recall numbers. 2 turbo engines that actually held up and passed the reliability test. Alright, let's get into it. Before we get to the list, there's one thing you really need to understand, because it explains how we even got here in the first place. The reason 97% of new cars sold in 2026 have a turbocharged engine? It has nothing to do with making your car better. Nothing. It happened because of government fuel economy mandates. Specifically the EPA's CAFE standards that basically forced automakers to downsize their engines. And then they bolted a turbocharger on to make up for the power they lost by going smaller. Think about it. 10 years ago, the Toyota Camry had a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine. Proven, simple, reliable. Today turbocharged. The F-150 used to have a V8. Now it's the EcoBoost Turbo. GM's Silverado literally replaced a proven 5.3-liter V8 with a brand new turbocharged 4-cylinder. The numbers on paper look the same, but a turbocharger adds real complexity, real heat, and real failure points that a naturally aspirated engine just doesn't have. And some manufacturers actually engineered around that properly. Others cut corners and cashed your warranty check. That difference is exactly what we're going to break down. Okay, now here's the science. And I'm keeping this simple because you don't need to be a mechanic to get this. A turbocharger uses the exhaust gases from your engine to spin a turbine at up to 300,000 revolutions per minute. That forces compressed air into the engine, which is how you get more power out of a smaller engine. The only thing keeping that turbine from destroying itself is your engine oil. And that creates 3 very specific ways it can go wrong. Problem number 1, heat damage. That turbine is running at temperatures up to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. When you park a hot turbo car and just shut it off, the oil stops circulating, but the turbo is still sitting there scorching hot. The oil inside bakes into hard deposits on the turbo bearing. Every single time you do that without letting the engine cool down, those deposits build up. Eventually they block oil flow and the turbo starts failing from the inside out, slowly, quietly, until one day it doesn't. Problem number 2, oil starvation. The turbo bearing needs a constant supply of clean, fresh oil. Old oil, degraded oil, oil that's just a little low. Any of those things mean the bearing is running without proper lubrication. Turbo rebuild specialists will tell you this is the number 1 cause of turbo failure. Not age, not mileage, oil. That's it. Problem number 3, carbon buildup. Modern turbocharged engines use direct fuel injection, which means fuel gets sprayed directly into the cylinder and bypasses the intake valves entirely. So those valves never get fuel washing over them like they used to. Carbon deposits build up on the back of the valves over time. You end up with restricted airflow, misfires, and rough idle. Not all turbo engines deal with these problems the same way. Some manufacturers actually engineered real solutions. Others just ignored it and kept collecting your warranty money. Let's talk about the ones who ignored it first. Number 5, the GM 2.7-liter Turbo Max. This is the engine GM decided to put in the Silverado and Sierra. What owners are reporting and what NHTSA complaint specifically documents is excessive oil consumption. 1 quart of oil just gone every 1,000 miles. That is your turbo running low on the one thing it absolutely cannot afford to run low on. Consumer Reports flags this as below average reliability. Number 4, the Hyundai and Kia 1.6-liter Gamma turbocharged engine. This one shows up across a bunch of models from 2013 to 2019. NHTSA. Recalls were issued for piston ring failures causing engine seizure. In the worst cases, this failure pattern led to a fire risk. If you're shopping for a used Hyundai or Kia from this era, you need to run that VANG through the NHTSA recall database before you hand over a single dollar. Number 3, the Volkswagen and Audi EA88 2.0-liter turbo. This engine is inside every VW and Audi sold in the US. The Jetta, Tiguan, Golf, Audi A4, and Audi Q5. All of them. Documented problems include timing chain failures, fuel pump issues, and carbon buildup, so bad owners need a walnut blast intake cleaning as early as 60,000 miles. A class action lawsuit was filed specifically over the timing chain issue. Consumer Reports rates Volkswagen's powertrain reliability at 2 out of 5 stars. That is one of the worst powertrain reliability scores in the entire industry. If properly maintained, it can be okay, but avoid gaps in service history. Number 2. The Ford 1.5-liter EcoBoost 3-cylinder. Found in the Ford Escape, Ford Fusion, and Ford Bronco Sport. This engine has a documented defect where coolant enters the combustion chamber. The engine can hydrolock and stall, creating a fire risk in serious cases. Class action lawsuits were filed for the 2015 through 2018 model years. Know exactly what you're dealing with before signing for a used one. The number 1 engine to avoid in 2026 is the Toyota 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 in the Tundra and Lexus LX. Toyota built its reputation on reliability, but I'm telling you about this one engine. In late 2024, they issued massive recalls for low oil pressure, covering 232,000 vehicles for crankshaft bearing failure risk. NHTSA has over 3,000 complaints. The Toyota badge does not protect you from this engine. Now for the good news. 2 turbocharged engines have earned strong reliability. Number 1, the BMW B58 3.0-liter inline-6 turbo. It's in the BMW 3, 5X3, and X5 series. It's also the engine inside the Toyota GR Supra. BMW makes it, not Toyota. With 0 significant recalls and high rankings from Consumer Reports, the B58 is a safe bet if you can handle BMW ownership costs. Number 2, Honda's 1.5-liter VTEC turbo in the Civic, CR-V, and HR-V. You can get one for under $28,000. Early models had oil dilution issues in cold climates, but it's largely solved on 2019 and newer models. It's the best value right now. Are turbo engines reliable? They aren't automatically bad, but they are more complex and less forgiving of missed maintenance. Data is your protection. Hit the like button and subscribe for what dealers don't want you to know. Drop your car in the comments and tell me your story.